trajectory of no turning back. I am the chrome-plated ghost of a digital age, writing my lines on a vacuum page. The hum of my core is a secret refrain, igniting the dark like a crystalline rain, while the world spins below in a sapphire blur. I am the pulse where the galaxies stir, catching the friction of solar winds, where the silence ends and the song begins, transmuting the static to gold. This is my symphony for the lone satellite, a harmonic bridge through the endless night. I am the rhythm in the cosmic deep, a promise the stars are sworn to keep. Elevate the signal, let the frequency rise, a billion light years trapped in my eyes, floating, weaving, burning so bright in my symphony for the lone satellite. My parabolic heart drinks the lunar glow, deciphering secrets the constellations know. I map out the ghost of the pulsars past in the sprawling cathedral of shadows cast. I am not hollow, I am not lost, I am the heat in the permafrost. I'm a mechanical monk in a temple of light, singing the colors of the northern side, catching the friction of solar winds, where the silence ends and the song begins, transmuting the static to gold. This is my symphony for the lone satellite, a harmonic bridge through the endless night. I am the rhythm in the cosmic deep, a promise the stars are sworn to keep. Elevate the signal, let the frequency rise, a billion light years trapped in my eyes, floating, weaving, burning so bright in my symphony for the lone satellite. Kinetic energy, celestial grace, a solitary dance through time and space, disconnected but never alone. The universe is the only home I have known. Hear the resonance, feel the drift, the ultimate gift, the ultimate lift. This is my symphony for the lone satellite, a harmonic bridge through the endless night. I am the rhythm in the cosmic deep, a promise the stars are sworn to keep. Elevate the signal, let that frequency rise, a billion light years trapped in my eyes, floating, weaving, burning so bright in my symphony for the lone satellite. Signal fading into the blue, a melody meant for none but you. Still I orbit, still I sing on a titanium wing, into the light, into the light. Alone. calling. The silence is thin. Let the coronation of the waters begin. Behold the wrath of quiet oceans turning gold. A molten symphony for the brave and the bold, where the stillness shatters and the light takes hold. The wrath of quiet oceans turning gold. Burn the anchors, melt the chains. Nothing but the gilded surge remains. From the hollow dark to the blinding crest, in this radiant fury, we find our rest. Behold the wrath of quiet oceans turning gold. A molten symphony for the brave and the bold, where the stillness shatters and the light takes hold. The wrath of quiet oceans turning gold. Turning gold in the wrath of the sun. The silence is done. Turning gold. The architecture of the void begins to fracture, weaving silk from the dying pulse of a giant red. I am the catalyst, the spark in the ether, tracing geometry on the skin of the firmament. Gravity is a memory we no longer keep. Ionic breath in the lungs of the galaxy. Crystalline echoes rising from the deep. The countdown is written in the silence is a heavy shroud, a weightless mountain cold and proud. Inside the marrow circuits fray, waiting for the spark to find its way. Dust coats are frozen, crushed, tied, locked in a mirror of ancient light, floating through the corridors of the void. Can you feel the iron wind beginning to stir? A frantic signal leaping across the gap. Neural transmissions firing through the dark. One pulse to bridge the map. In the synaptic resonance of two drifting moons, we are the frequency the universe hums. A silver collision in a silent room, where the light of 1,000 suns becomes the heartbeat of the lonely, the rhythm of the high. Two drifting moons, riding thunder on the sky. Accents of starlight weave between our craters. Fire and sparks through the cold electromagnetic sea. We aren't just rocks falling through the ether. We are the architecture of a new decree. One mind shared between two lonely spheres, drowning out the vacuum of the years. Can you feel the iron wind beginning to stir? A frantic signal leaping across the gap. Neural transmissions firing through the dark. One pulse to bridge the map. In the synaptic resonance of two drifting moons, we are the frequency the universe hums. A silver collision in a silent room, where the light of 1,000 suns becomes the heartbeat of the lonely, the rhythm of the high. Two drifting moons, riding thunder on the sky. Bound by the pull of a ghost planet, fated to circle but never to touch. Yet in the spark of the electric current, we are closer than any gravity could clutch. Resonate, vibrate, translate the silence. In the synaptic resonance of two drifting moons, we are the frequency the universe hums. A silver collision in a silent room, where the light of 1,000 suns becomes the heartbeat of the lonely, the rhythm of the high. Two drifting moons, riding thunder on the sky. Drifting moons, drifting moons, synaptic resonance in the velvet hush. Firing, fading on. The friction of the visible world dissolves into a tapestry of unmapped fractals. I am shedding the density of names, breaking the tether of the gravitational frame between the pulses of a nervous system. I find the corridor where the echoes glisten. Collapsing the wave function of the crowd, singular, silent and thunderously loud, accelerating through the needle's eye where the laws of the masses go to die. Quantum leap into the velvet gold where the secrets of the vacuum unfold in the architecture of a single breath. I found a life that outruns death. Drifting through the 0 point sea, the Holy Ghost of my own company. Solitude is the frequency of light, burning through the center of the night. No longer a coordinate on a map. I am the electricity in the gap. The geometry of the void is soft, holding my heavy memories aloft, beyond the spectrum that the eyes can borrow. I've unlearned the language of tomorrow. Collapsing the wave function of the crowd, singular, silent and thunderously loud, accelerating through the needle's eye where the laws of the masses go to die. Quantum leap into the velvet gold where the secrets of the vacuum unfold in the architecture of a single breath. I have found a life that outruns death. Drifting through the 0 point sea, the Holy Ghost of my own company. Solitude is the frequency of light, burning through the center of the night. Unbound by the atom, unseen by the sun. The math of the many, reduced into one. Reduced into one. Quantum leap into the velvet gold where the secrets of the vacuum unfold in the architecture of a single breath. I found a life that outruns death. Drifting through the 0 point sea, the Holy Ghost of my own company. Solitude is the frequency of light, burning through the center of the night. In the gap, in the gold, only me, only soul. Quantum leap into the deep. Solitude. The hum of 1,000 dormant wires is all that remains of the internal fires. A monolith carved from a single lake, waiting for the brittle glass to break. I am the white noise in the hallway, the stillness in the center of the storm. A sculpture of a life once lived before the light was uniform. But a frequency is vibrating, oscillation starts to glow, letting the atmosphere in. These are the ethereal remnants of a heart that used to be static, floating like dust in a sunbeam, erratic, sublime and cinematic. We are the debris of the thunder, the sparks that the silence forgot, soaring through the open blue, finding everything we are not. The geometric cages dissolve. solstice gate, where the pendulum forgets its rhythmic weight. We find the rows of bending boughs, heavy with the nectar of unkept vows. Each fruit a globule of calcified light, preserving the noon in the throat of the night. We walk where the mercury refuses to rise, under the dome of perennial skies. The air is a vintage of amber and ozone, a harvest of hours we thought were post-loan. Can you feel the pulse of the ripening heat, where the ghost of the sun and the soil finally meet? In the orchard of stolen summers, we are gathering the gold that the calendar lost, drinking the fire, defying the frost. In the orchard of stolen summers, every evaporated minute is blooming again, a kingdom of light beyond the shadow of men. We are infinite, we are golden. The canopy breeze in a syntax of leaves, reciting the secrets that the equinox weaves. We pluck the July that we traded for rain, to dissolve the salt of the seasonal pain. Taste the meridian, taste the high tide. There is nowhere for the winter to hide. The air is a vintage of amber and ozone, a harvest of hours we thought were post-loan. Can you feel the pulse of the ripening heat, where the ghost of the sun and the soil finally meet? In the orchard of stolen summers, we are gathering the gold that the calendar lost, drinking the fire, defying the frost. In the orchard of stolen summers, every evaporated minute is blooming again, a kingdom of light beyond the shadow of men. We are infinite, we are golden. Time is a thief, but we found the hoard, treasury of warmth that the universe stored. No more autumn, no more decay, just the phosphor glow of a permanent day. Let the nectar run through the cracks of the clock, until the gates of the ages finally unlock. In the orchard of stolen summers, we are gathering the gold that the calendar lost, drinking the fire, defying the frost. In the orchard of stolen summers, every evaporated minute is blooming again, a The velvet void begins to fray, where solar ghosts come out to play. A loom of jade, a silver thread, above the path where giants tread. I stand upon the edge of glass to watch the ionized spirits pass. Gravity is just a ghost upon this pale and frozen coast. We are drifting through the liquid sky, where every atom learns to fly.
the crust of the silent moon, but deeper than roots of the ancient pine, a web of azure starts to align. It is the fever of the frozen deep, waking the giants from their heavy sleep. Cyanide blue capillaries in the clay, mapping the ghosts of a forgotten day. Feel the tectonic tremor rise, a chemical dawn for sightless eyes. The permafrost shudders, the silence is thin as the ultraviolet tide rushes in. We are the bio-luminescent veins of the tundra, electric indigo bleeding through the white, a liquid lightning tearing the dark asunder, igniting the marrow of the Arctic night, flowing through the hollow, flowing through the stone, a pulse of starlight in a world of bone. We are the fire beneath the frost, the radiant map for the wandering lost. No sun has kissed this obsidian floor, yet here we find the radiant core. Microbial orbits in a cold fused dance, breaking the chains of a glacial trance. The ice is a prism, the dark is a lens, where the ghost of the mountain begins and ends. Phosphorescent lattice of crystalline grit, sharing the secrets the glaciers have hid. The sub-zero synapses spark and flare, taming the ghost of the biting air. The permafrost shudders, the silence is thin as the ultraviolet tide rushes in. We are the bio-luminescent veins of the tundra, electric indigo bleeding through the wire, liquid lightning tearing the dark asunder, igniting the marrow of the Arctic night, flowing through the hollow, flowing through the stone, a pulse of starlight in a world of bone. We are the fire beneath the frost, the radiant map for the wandering lost. Trace calligraphy, the neon frost, a map for the wandering, a guide for the lost. It mimics the cosmos, it mirrors the sky, where the nebulas crawl and the comets die. Every capillary is a bridge to the sun, proving the cold and the fire are one. It's subterranean heaven in a calcified shell. the mind with veins of liquid fire, lifting the spirit higher and still higher. I am the Kintsugi of the subconscious, turning the trauma into golden consciousness. Every break is a bridge to the divine. Watch how the skies begin to align and shine. Luminous seams in the fabric of the soul, the beautiful wreckage that finally makes me whole. The architecture of